For this mock exercise, we're going to take a look at a balanced scorecard, and the company we're going to actually do is Dransfield Company. Let's take a look at the question. So Dransfield makes electronic components ZP98. The component is significantly less expensive than a similar product sold by their competitors. Order processing time is very short. However, approximately 10% of the products are defective when returned by customers. So they're able to deliver quickly, but what they deliver, 10% of that is returned and defective. Returns and refunds are handled promptly. Another company, their competitor, has a higher price product and almost no defect, but a longer order processing time. So the first part asks us to actually draw a simple customer preference map for Dransfield and Yorant using the attributes of price, quality, and delivery time. So let's take a look at that. So in your textbook, they gave you an example of customer preference map. So we've got the Y and X axis. So here we're going to have poor to excellent or very good. And remember, this is the product attributes. And this is desired by customers. Desired by customers. So the first one is quality. So if I think of, I'm going to draw Dransfield as in red. I'm going to draw in black the competitor. So in terms of quality, okay, where is Dransfield? We're told that quality, it's not the greatest in comparison to so I'd say it's somewhere here, but the competitors is probably here. More of the excellent, right? Because remember, it says here that our processing time is short, but 10% of our products are defective and returned by customers. And we're told that the competitors in black have much a higher quality. Now, what about delivery time? That was the other piece, wasn't it? So we know that we have a great delivery time, and our competitors, it says high price, no defects, but longer processing time. So they're somewhere here. Now, what about price? Price was the other attribute, right? Now, it says here that the competitors have a higher priced, and for us, our price is actually fairly cheap. So when we draw these customer preference map, we'll see that our competitor has a map that looks like this. So this is our competitors. What's the name of our competitor? Yorant. And for us, it's actually, this is our map. And this is our map. This is Dransfield. So when they say draw a simple customer preference map, so here we're mapping what we do based on customer preference attribute, and we're going to gauge ourselves to the competitors. Now, part 2 says, is Dransfield's current strategy that of product differentiation or cost leadership? What do you think they're doing? So we know that we are following a cost leadership. Not quality, because quality means product differentiation, right? So we're actually looking at cost leadership strategy, which is reflected by the low price in comparison to your runt. Okay. Now, number 3 says, Dransfield would like to improve quality without sacrificing increasing cost or order processing time. So they want to take this quality, which is negative, they want to go somewhere around here. They want that line to be a little bit more higher this way. Now, it says, Dransfield's manager believed that the increased quality will increase sales. What element should Dransfield include in its balanced scorecard? So if we're trying to figure out a way to increase quality without increasing price, then we need to focus on, perhaps the first thing we need to look at is the internal business process. This is in the balanced scorecard, right? So what would we want to include in that balanced scorecard? For internal business process, we need to be able to, first of all, decrease the number of defects. So we got to figure out a way to put some sort of internal controls in place so that before the products leave the warehouse to the customer, there's got to be a checking mechanism that allows us to check for that defect. Now, we also want on-time delivery on our balanced scorecard, because this is one of our defining features, isn't it? C, we want to know the order time. So not only we want to make sure that we deliver on time, we also want to cut down the order time. And D, for internal business process, we wanted a number of improvements in the manufacturing process. Because we know that defective product is probably how we put it together. It could be a supply chain management, so maybe it's part of it is the raw materials that we're using, or we may have to go back to perhaps the drawing board to see whether we could create a, develop a product that minimizes these defects issues. Now, we might want to look at the learning and growth perspective as well in our balanced scorecard. And what would we include in there? What would we include in the learning and growth perspective of the balanced scorecard? Well, we want to make sure that maybe the defect is to do with the quality of the training. The quality of training on our employees. Maybe there's nothing wrong with how our product is made, but it's possibly the fact that people aren't trained to work on the machines could be the reason why. Now, are we training a lot of employees? Is it because people are leaving? So maybe we need to look at also the employee retention rate. Retention means, are they leaving? Are they taking what we teach them and they learn, and have they moved on to a different competitors perhaps? And there's a few more here that I want to talk about. Maybe I can add in there too the percentage of manufacturing processes with real-time feedback. So maybe the way our process in place may not give us the immediate feedback. If we know that some of our products aren't actually made properly, we can perhaps want to get real-time feedback to see whether we can still fix those products. Now, customer perspective. In our balanced scorecard, what we would look for, we would look for things like market share. So how are we selling in comparison to the other competitors? We want to look at number of new customers. If the market is saturated, we might want to acquire or steal from our competitors. And we might want to put in their customer satisfaction rating. That's why you see a lot of companies today, they do a lot of survey. If you fill out the survey, you get a free $10 voucher for your next purchase, all of that. And the reason why they want customers' feedback is the cheapest way to get that feedback from our customers so that we know exactly how we can improve our customer size, because we know that a valued customer is always a profitable impact to the business. And don't forget the financial perspective on our balanced scorecard would include operating income, revenue growth, okay, and you might want to do operating income before and after productivity and growth improvement and quality improvement, sorry. So you might want to do those financial income perspective. Now, the last part of the question says, draw a strategy map to explain the cause and effect of the relationship. So what they're saying is, we know that these balanced scorecard non-financial metric has a effect, has a relationship. It may not be a one-to-one relationship, but there's definitely a cause and effect relationship with other financial or non-financial metrics in the scorecard. So they're asking us to create a strategy map, and this is typically what a company would do. If they're serious about trying to figure out ways to improve, then they might want to perhaps do what they call a strategic map. And a strategic map would be something like this. So let me just show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is what it would look like. So let's start with, first one is the number of major improvements in manufacturing process. So this is what we need to do. So remember, one of the problems we have is a defect. So if you go back into our customer preference map, the one area that we are not doing well in is this one, and that is the quality. And everything else seems to be under the good or excellent category. So the first thing we want to do is we want to look at ways to improve our manufacturing process. Now, That could entail, right, employing the right people, keeping the right people, and training the right people. So this is part of the learning and growth process. So part of it is the fact that if we want to improve this, it may not be the actual product itself, it may be the people that we employ that are handling the products that created this defect. Now, if we can fix this, what will happen is the number of defects sold will be going less. And if we fix this process, the order time and the on-time delivery would definitely meet customer satisfaction. So you could see how this balanced scorecard, when we look at different perspectives, it does have a cause and effect relationship. And again, we're guessing. I mean, you can see where the arrows are going. We're guessing that given that if we improve this, how do we improve it? Well, we need to start with our folks, with our people. We need to train. We need to make sure that we put all the right controls in place. And then hopefully that will lead to a product that's going out to our market, to our customers on time, and makes people happy, and we have less number of defect units going to the customer. Once a customer is satisfied, then we're hoping that we can drive more customers. They buy more from us, and we might increase market share, and that will obviously translate to revenue growth. So that's going to affect the financial perspective. You can see that this may be done in year 1, and this may trickle up to maybe year 2, year 3 effect. So there's a short and long-term effect. So it's really, really hard. When you look at a balanced scorecard in a given period, it's hard to see the relationship at that given point in time, because perhaps the revenue growth that we're seeing in the current month's scorecard may have been something that started about a year and a half ago, let's say. Now, a revenue growth will definitely translate to operating income. Okay, so we know that from a financial perspective, this is important. That's going to generate income. All right, so that is what they call a strategic map. It's just an example of that. Thank you.